Hello, my friends, and welcome to a very interesting map, which you probably have never seen before. This map is not arena, it is double arena. Yes, as you can see, players start with 2 layers of walls, 2 town centers, and then also they start with a monument, which brings you a trickle of resources. We can kind of get to that, but I wanted to spice up the content, bring some cool stuff, and I'm actually playing in this tournament. It's called Mad Random Cup 2, and this is one of the games that I played. I guess quick introduction. Here I am playing as the Poles. My teammate and good friend Ozone is in the green here playing as the Bengalis. And then we are up against Good Game, who is playing as the Hindustanis. And then I'm going to call this player Lamo. That's usually what he's referenced as, who's playing as the Mongols. Now, the way the Civ settings work for this tournament is there's 6 bands, and then it's pretty much free pick. And in the first game, we both played as Persians and the Japanese. So when it got to the point where we're about to play this game, we had free pick of course, all the remaining civilizations. And see, I have a problem where I am, like many people, a product of experience. And I had played a show match against Germany last week, or maybe 2 weeks ago. And they went Poles, and they killed us. It was Poles and Britons. What I forgot is that Mongols was banned, Hindustanis was banned. Like, a lot of good civs that could work otherwise, just weren't available then. So, because I felt Poles were super strong, I said, hey, let's go for the Poles here. And let's test this whole new auto farming thing and see what we can do. Now, because it's 2 TCs, and because you have a monument that brings you resources, this game is a whole lot faster. But this is not easy, as very difficult to play. If you're really paying attention to it, you will notice that, first off, you're going to notice bad pathing. I clicked the villager here. Guys, I clicked the villager here, and the villager pathed this way. Sorry, I know some of you guys come here to relax, but I just need to show you. You understand, right? I am here. I click the villager here, and then the villager goes to the left. Anyways, we continue. Had to do a little house trick. I kind of screamed a little bit when we were playing. It's fine. But yeah, because the monument brings you resources, we found that you actually shouldn't chop wood until you get to like 25 vills. So right now I'm going to wood because I've had enough wood to build my houses and pretty much to do everything that I wanted throughout the game. But like, a funny issue that I had here is I would just double click my sheep somewhere, which is normal. Normally I double click the sheep to go buy a TC, but then I had like all the sheep over here and then I had no sheep over here. It's just a mess, right? It's just a mess. But guys, I want to quickly just back away from the game for a moment as we talk about this. And I want to say, hope you enjoy the content that's going to be on the channel over the next week or so. The views on the videos have been getting a bit higher over the last week or two. So some of the additional effort that I put in has seemingly been paying off. I never really know what brings people in, but I do my best. And just a general thank you for the support and whatnot. I did upload the videos to my extras channel a couple weeks ago, just kind of letting people know that streaming wise, things are going to be inconsistent for May. I've just been very busy at a friend's wedding, which we were helping with, and of course celebrating. I've got a trip coming up. I had family stuff. Unfortunately, had a death in the family. Just a lot of stuff happening, and that can be very stressful and exciting depending on what's happening. But what I didn't want to deviate from is making the videos and making sure the videos are quality. So if you're here watching this at the moment, whether you watch my streams or not, just know you're appreciated. It's just one of those things I do both of. Like I stream and make videos. So when I stream less, I don't want people to feel like I'm not appreciating them, right? Like I'm out there doing who knows what and not really wanting to do what I love, which just so happens to be my job, which I'm very fortunate. So we make it to Feudal. And at this point, I had already been in discussion with my teammate Ozone. And I was like, okay, I am here for map control, which is what our previous opponents had done. They'd made, you bring in a lot of food with the Poles, so spend that food for map control. And I wanted to give him time for his strongest composition. And the strongest composition for the Bengalis would be elephant archers. Their elephant archers are insane. Elephant archers in general, just a really tanky unit, which is very hard to kill. But Bengali elephant archers have some bonuses involved for them. So I'm kind of like the setup guy, I suppose. And then on the other side, I mean, I was concerned. I already explained to you, I didn't really think about the Mongols. Didn't really think about the Hindustanis. I mean, these civilizations can be some of the strongest late-game civilizations out there. Mongols have the Mangudai. They also have Crazy Siege. And then the Hindustanis have the Imperial Camel. And so, you know, it's like anything that you would make to counter one of those two things I mentioned, the other unit counters that, right? So if you were to go Halberdier, for example, lots of pointy boys against the camels, Mangudai shred Halb. If you were to go for lots of skirms against Mangudai, the skirms get shredded by the camels. So it's a really tricky one. And we're going to need to rely on a little bit of creativity on our side. But still a lot of faith that the Bengalis can do some pretty ridiculous things. Look at the resources collected. We're at 10 minutes. And so far, I mean, res collected is 6K and counting, which is just insane. So it's kind of funny. The first time I played this, though, because usually in a normal game, you're going like 3 vills to wood relatively early. So I kind of did that for both TCs before I realized the monument is bringing enough resources where you don't need to go to wood. I was 7 vills behind where I was now. 7. Just because the start was brutal. Yeah, the other team makes it to Castle Age before us. This was their home map in this series. So we knew that they would be prepared for it. I don't know, like, Good Game is a player who... This is a Russian player who's around 2,300 rated, depending on the week. And Lamo, I don't know as much about. I think he's from Latvia, actually. Yeah, I'm pretty sure he's from Latvia. And he's also around the same rating. And Good Game is pretty good on closed maps. But I've been in many Arabia games versus both of these guys. And I'd say they're pretty good with, like, build orders and timings. Now, I've added a stable to add a few extra scouts here. That was the idea, right? And so my thinking... This is a key moment in my commentary, people, okay? I need you to remember this. This will become relevant later. My thinking was we go for the Slacha Privilege unique tech. And with the unique tech, as I almost get trapped in there, we then spam knights for map control. Because the Mangudai are going to kill everything I can make. But as long as I'm holding all this stone and gold myself, maybe we could outlast the opponent. Look at these TCs. Cheap villagers with the Hindustanis, right? Boom, 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 boom. TCs everywhere. And then Ozone does the same. TCs everywhere. In my case, I get 10% of my farm's food every time I build it around the full work. So I'm going to have to place my farms very carefully here. I think I'm going to remove market events for this because... I think it's just going to be too spammy. Trust me, we'll be using the market more. So, you know, I've got the scouts for map control. I think in a 1v1, you would then see players try and get the relics. Honestly, didn't think about relics until just this very moment. I did not prioritize getting the relics. The relics usually are more... Like, in a 1v1, there's less factors involved. There's less that can help you recover in a game, right? In a team game, you can have your teammate come help you. You can trade. In a 1v1, you're just reliant on yourself, so having those relics normally feels a bit better. Also feels like the relics are much closer to them as well, which would make things complicated, but, you know, I'm thinking, like, I've got to prop up Ozone and do what I can to prevent him from getting pushed early. And so he's booming away right now, up to 76 vills, as am I. It is 80 vills for purple and 75 for yellow. It's just a boom war. I am very proud of this moment. I was able to follow Yellow Scout into the base, but I don't want to get my units trapped in there. So I'm just being as annoying as one can be, while also focusing on adding the farms and whatnot. There's so much clutter in the base. I wish I would have deleted some of the outer walls to maybe free up more space, and maybe these houses should have been on the back. If I play this again, I really think houses need to be here. I just never thought about deleting the walls like everybody else did for some reason. I do that in a normal arena game, but I didn't do that here. But anyways, I'm up. I've clicked up to the Imperial Age. Game is pretty even so far, but if you like late game, if you like different units, if you like unique settings, which obviously we have here, then this is certainly going to be the game for you. Now, I had already clicked up, and I was going to build the castle here. This is a good castle to place. It's safe. It protects more stone, which pays for more castles. But I saw the Siege Workshop and the Monastery. Those are two buildings that unlock clicking up to the next stage, right? And that told me that my opponent probably hadn't clicked up yet. And I thought about it more and was just like, Mongols can be dangerous. If we can take out castles, it'll be more difficult for him to make Mangudai. And so as my scout just stays here, I decided we're going to make a castle here on the front. With the hope of he's going to make castles like on a stack here in a position where we could potentially make trips. So lots of villagers moving around for me right now as we're walking forward. Remember, the Poles do receive some gold income from mining stone. It's not an insane amount, but it is something. Definitely adds up over time. He had added siege. I noticed it. And I don't want him to leave to deny the castle. 20 vills forward. Wow, crazy. Over here, we already have camel production for purple, and that could be a problem here for Ozone. Because the thing about elephant archers is they're extremely expensive, and they're slow. And you need good upgrades on them. Like, you can't just get 10 elite elephant archers. That's not going to be enough. You need to get, I would say, like 40's that number, where it feels really difficult to kill. And so I make it to the Imperial Age here in a moment. And I actually have no clue what my opponent has done in here, right? So it just makes sense that the opponent's going to build castles somewhere towards the front. So I'm almost banking on that at this point, not prioritizing many technologies or unit production otherwise, even sending a treb across the map from here and making a treb from here. And I'm just like, okay, please let there be a castle. I need to take Mangudai away from the opponent. Poles don't have anything to compete with Mangudai. They just don't. Mangudai are just superior range units, so I can't go for any real range units. Purple starting his push. So it's kind of a similar thing for him, where he's thinking forward castles going into trebs to stop the Bengalis. So both teams have a player trying to heavy pressure. And I get my treb there, and I'm like, oh, shoot, a castle. That's perfect. My birthday was last month, but I kind of felt like this is a belated birthday gift to see that castle's there. Because the weakness of any unique unit is you do need the castles, right? Looks like Ozone still not an imp yet. Now, I can't believe his vill count is what it is right now. I told him, I said 6 vill boom, 6 TC boom with Bengalis doesn't make a lot of sense because you're going to get 2 vills from each TC. What is he doing? You're going to get 2 vills from each TC when you make it to the next age. So he has 154. He's going to get 14 more. That's funny. Okay. Anyways, I'm trying my best to treb push here. Yellow's trying his best to hold on to this position, which does mean he doesn't have the stone for many castles because he's repairing more. But Ozone's not ready yet because he has 170 vills. Oh my god, 170 vills. I mean, he is getting Mahayana, so then less pop space goes towards his eco. It's just so crazy. A crazy economy. And well, we took out a castle, but we've lost a castle, and we're going to lose every treb. And I was going to make calf, right? Like, now you realize why there was some concern for me the more I thought about it after going for the polls. Now, yellow still has to build up the Mangudai numbers. Luckily, we'll have time for that. And Ozone now starting to be pressured. In 50 seconds, it's going to be Imp Camel from the others. Economically, we are obviously in a really good spot as a team. And Ozone is bringing in all these techs right now. So he's Mahayana, so he can stay at 170 vills, really bank up those resources, and free up more pop space. He also is going to have the faster attacking elephant archers, and the production is coming here. So he's holding And I'm going to need to recover in some way. Feeling very useless with my Cavalier right now. Now, you notice what tech I'm researching, guys? That's Slots of Privilege. That makes Knights, or the Knight line, cheaper by like 55% or something crazy. It's a crazy technology. I thought I had it! I produced like 30 Knights before I ever even had that upgrade. Thankfully, I realized, but a big waste. And the reason I realized is because I played enough games with it, and I was just like, man, is my eco that bad? And then I was like, oh. Anyways, here are these elephant archers. The thing is, camels don't do a ton of bonus damage against elephants. They do bonus damage against elephants, but it's not as significant as against cav. I was able to snipe some trebs there. There's a farm. That's kind of funny. I was able to snipe some siege here, and yellow's still building up the Mangudai. It's taking time, but you could see how quickly these cav die. Ozone lost a castle down here, but he built a new one. Ozone about to lose this castle here, but he's up to 30 elephant archers now. And I'm still not dead yet, but I'm letting Ozone know that I could have some big problems with the Mangudai soon. Now, when you have a cheap unit that is weak against a strong unit, you want to do anything you can to delay your inevitable death, and you want to try and deny their golds. So you basically use the logic of, if I can produce more, this will be fine for me. Look how insane this unit is. This is against Imperial Camel. There's not much that can stop him Camel usually. So here I come with some cav, trying to do what I can to keep Ozone alive. Snipe these trebs. And yellow did build a castle here to protect this stone. I noticed that, so I'm going to position myself there. Mangudai are one-shotting me, but they do have to back away, so that's something. Ozone still losing a lot of ground. Ozone teching into Halb now. Populations are even right now. These elephant archers are extremely strong, but maybe Halb elephant archer is what is needed. This is where I'm thinking I might need a complete tech switch. So, and I don't think a tech switch is out of the question if I had time, right? If you have time to, like, drop the archer ranges and get the techs, could maybe work. But my feeling here is I actually offer more to the team just tossing bodies in nonstop. It's a lot simpler as well. They just keep producing a unit, patrolling it in. So yellow over here sees my trebs, needs to keep these castles up, and yet again, for all the gold that I've saved on cav, I'm losing gold with trebs going down. But Ozone is kind of stabilized a little bit. He's got 26 elephant archers. There's 40 freaking Imperial camels. And clearly yellow is concerned about this area and is just like, hey, let's just head over here. We're going to bring the trebs. We got to deal with this. There's stone. There's gold here. Like, look at all this stone available. On this part of the screen, there's 5k stone. Castles are just so important. Ozone gets to push out now, mixing in some trebs now, deleting some villagers now. He's deleted 20 vills over the last few moments. Frees up more pop for him. I lose that castle. And I run over towards these elephant archers, which so far have killed 30 units. That's all imp camels that they've killed. Not only do Poles not get paladin, but they also lack the final armor. So I'm really not working with strong units here. But trying my best to do what I can do. And trying my best to be a rat and be stubborn. Walling in the treb there, pressuring the castle there. We have Onager in now for yellow, and we have Drill on the way. So it is going to be Imperial Camel, Elite Mangudai, and Drill Onagers. And it's not just going to be Drill Onager. It's going to be Siege Onager as well, as yellow is saving for Siege Onager. This is just crazy technologies. And I'm just like, please, 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 please give me some opportunities to kill the trebs. Take out those trebs. That's all I'm good for. I'm a treb killer. That's it. And I'm a... I don't know. Not motivator? I don't know. Trying to stay positive. And I was fairly positive in this game. There's definitely a game in the series where I wasn't positive. I got really tilted at one point. Ended up getting the job done anyways, but had two armies attack me, and Ozone was like, you want a GG? And I almost said yes. Should never ask someone who's frustrated if they want to resign. Guys, I don't know if you're noticing, but these elephant archers are bonkers, right? Like, think of the army that's here. Look at the amount of units. There's so much more for the enemy. Now, finally, the elephant archers do go down. But Ozone able to gain a little bit of breathing space. I was able to snipe some trebuchets. The siege onager 50 seconds away now for yellow. Crazy units, right? You never see these units. Like, seeing Imp Camel and Elite Mangadai in the same game is kind of rare for a 2v2. Maybe not for Arena. But the onager tech as well is just insane. And then I think that's where the elephants really have to be concerned. Here's a fresh batch of these elephant archers here. 10,000 HP from 30 units. But they stack up. And if they stack up, that could be a concern. But it's got two armies looking at this now at Ozone. And Ozone's thinking monks for the siege onagers is his only option. Big issue for the elephants will be the siege is so fast with the Mongols. So I think the movement speed, the elephants, they're still a bit faster. But if he looks away for a second, he could have problems. I haven't really played that big of a role over the last few moments. But you know, I realized that attacking the death ball, while I'm needed for the siege onagers, isn't going to do anything. And all because they couldn't push, because they didn't have the trebs to immediately smash Ozone in the face. I'm kind of able to switch it up a little bit. A couple Cavalier head this way for distractions. You could tell Purple was sent camels over here to maybe deal with these trebs because Yellow is starting to lose that castle. I try and get some kills with the Cavalier here. Going to lose the Cavalier quickly to the castles, but doing some damage. Ozone now trying to use monks to convert the onagers, and does convert the onager there. And you've got to be careful if you're yellow, because if you lose one onager, you could lose half your Mangadai to his SO shot. There's that one treb. See treb, kill treb. That's basically my job at this point. And, yeah, the hope here is that you can just outlast the opponent. Pretty much. That's the hope. Yellow even getting the Nomads tech from Mongols. Couple onagers get converted. Monks do go down, though. And it is 40 elephant archers right now for Ozone. But look at how much pop he actually has. Because of Mahayana, he's working with like 215 pop all the time, which is really nice. Oh, man. Trying my best to kill the siege onagers. It's so tricky. They just keep trying to get a push going here. And if they could just take one good engagement, it would be so nice. But another onager gets converted. The issue for them is lack of trebs. If this castle wasn't here, this castle has 29 kills, by the way. If this castle wasn't here, the siege onagers could continue to move in. But they have to be hesitant because of the potential of that castle. Ozone will absolutely use that castle to focus down any onagers. Anyways, it's been silent, right? There hasn't been a whole lot of blue there. And I'm making my move. I'm making my move. I've got 41 Cavalier. I was able to build it up, fix the eco a little bit. And now Yellow has to come in with the Mangadai. Now, if he does that to go snipe these trebs, that's solid. But he runs into Castle Fire. I'm going to try my best to block it off. And he's unable to support his teammate now. Now, that's not exactly true. He does have the onagers. So you can see the elephant archers. They even survived that shot there. But the Mangadai have to fall back into the base. I lose one treb. I've still got more coming. And I just am able to afford this. The units they're making, very expensive. Ozone's done a sick job with the monks. And find myself an opportunity, because there's less units here now, to be able to go in and snipe some of those units. Not as many SOs anymore. Cavalier now run through here, and you can see the type of game that I want. It's like, look at Yellow's position. He has to micro here. He has to defend his eco here, and there's a whole lot of this because of how this is playing out. Ozone has 60 elephant archers. This unit is insane. I personally think balance-wise, I think a better thing for Bengali balance is that their elephant archers are not as strong. Like, they don't attack faster or something, which is what their unique tech does. And maybe the Ratha is buffed or something, because they've got such an interesting unique unit. I don't know if anyone's ever going to have reason to make anything else in these super late games if the Bengali elephant archers are this strong. This is not saying that elephant archers aren't still going to be a strong unit. No, they're going to be great. But these things are just ridiculous. Also, love how they're getting healed up by the monks as well. The monks are such a nice addition. And well, guys, they've got to build up a force here. And they have to push one of these positions. They have to push this area, or they have to push this area. I've got more castles here. I'm going to drop a castle here. Boom! That castle protects some of that gold. That is what this game has become, right? Yellow trying his best to push out across the map. Purple trying to push this position as well. Now, the Imperial Camels, they're not going to accomplish anything against these elephant archers. These elephants are too strong. So, siege onagers are going to need to come over here. And we may have actually just seen that communication happen. You see how yellow's coming over? And I just happened to have Cav there. I didn't know anything about that. So, okay, yellow needs to supply siege onagers over here. So he's being told to go over there. He's going to go over there after seeing the cavalier. And you know what he doesn't see? Tons of units in his base. I was able to break down a gate, and we're in, baby. And when I cast games, I always try and bring it from, like, the player's perspective, because I could fully understand the situation for yellow right now. Like, yellow didn't realize this was open. He's doing his best to treb this down. He's just split because he has so many different jobs that he has to try and do here. And the KD, probably not going to be great for me, right? Because I've lost so many units and expensive units, even though they're cheaper. But yellow starting to push here against Ozone. Now, Ozone tells me in this moment, he's like, this is bad. I need help. This is, what is it, like 100 some units? He's like, this is a problem. I can't engage against this. And I just kept telling him, fall back if you need to. Fall all the way back into your base. Whatever you do, just don't lose your mass. Because I could see, I don't know why my units are attacking a wall. I patrolled them. There we go. Maybe I misclicked them. Getting some Vil picks there. Able to push it here. Now, the monument is actually convertible. You can steal it. You can't actually destroy it. And, ooh, guys, we did miss a shot here. I'm going to make sure you see this. Because Ozone's he's got his work cut out for him right now. One mistake. And it could all be over for these elephants. And he's moved forward for a second. And he gets smacked. And loses a big ball of elephants. Finally, the siege onagers pay off. I'm mixing in the winged hussar upgrade. I'm getting the trample damage tech. Because I'm actually quite low on... Well, actually, I'm very high on gold according to the stats here. But, oh, more elephants go down. It's just gold is an issue. Gold is an issue. That's what I want to say. Ozone down to 39 elephant archers. He's lost 20 over the last few minutes. But I've got that easy breezy farming eco. We've got trade being added here from Ozone to bring in some more gold long term. And a lot of my focus has been on stone and gold areas. And I'm just being a pest. Yellow finds it difficult to now move this way because Ozone had the castle and Ozone has more reinforcements. And now there's winged hussars in the back, and we've just basically slowly picked them apart. Ozone even going to share some food with me here. I didn't realize in the moment how... Like, I obviously didn't see this from Ozone's perspective. This is the first time I'm seeing this from a spectator point of view, having just played the games a couple hours earlier. I didn't realize how amazing Ozone played in this game. Like, he's done a seriously insane job. The fact that there was just, like, 2 highlights there with siege onagers hitting him and not before is impressive. The do not trickle treb mindset from him. When he's shown up with trebs in this game, he has always taken down a castle. I feel like that's something the enemies really struggled with. They didn't really have anyone sniping trebs, like I guess was my job. But, yeah, really impressive job from him to build up that force, get to this point. Of course, the 170 villagers, and then to add as much trade as he has is unbelievable. And we had already won the first game. The first game was very competitive. Both these guys are top 100 players against us. And I think this was this is what they drafted around. They probably might have even said, like, when they saw the civs, this is incredible for us. Like, this is our game. We're going to tie up the series. And just didn't happen. Now, guys, I want to shift back to one point in this game, which when it concluded, I told my live viewers was really important. And I want to talk about this situation pretty much right around here. Okay, so you look at this map. Look at how much golden stone is in the north compared to the middle, right? There's just a ton up here. For whatever reason. I don't know if that's standard or what, but there's just so much here. But it became really tricky for them because Ozone was the strongest player. There's a lot of reason for them to focus and kill Ozone. And I think right here, right, if those Trebs survive, if they're pushing Ozone, this is a great situation for them. But I showed enough of a threat here to where Yellow had to go deal with that. And if you remember, of course, he sniped the Trebs. And then he's like, okay. Then Purple says, well, Yellow doesn't want to be threatened here. So then we've got to go here. And we've got to pressure this. And then look what happens in the meantime. Then Ozone builds a forward castle and shows up with Trebs. It's just like, it's just something I'm so passionate about, right? There's not a lot that I'm like exquisite at as a player, but I think one of the things is controlling the game. It's like we've got less military. You could argue worse military at this stage anyways, because Ozone doesn't have insane numbers. But because of tickling this dude in the north, please don't clip that out of the context, they had to react to that, and then it gives Ozone the next thing, and then they react here, and then I come in with raids, and we just took some initiative, right? And you could argue in some ways that initiative started in early imp with my forward castles, though I don't know what, I lost 2 castles, I took out 1, that didn't feel like real initiative for me. So I feel like, honestly, ignoring me would have been the smarter thing for them. Once that castle's down, I think if they just sent everything here and push Ozone with Trebs right away, I think they win this game. The problem was units started to show up through the middle. Things got really sloppy. Trebs showed up eventually, and it just got really messy. So, obviously, even though I've gone quite in depth here over the last few minutes, it's still a very complicated game. And it's hard to think about it that way when you're in the game. Ozone's a boomer, though. There's his eco. And what's the KD look like? Well, honestly, it could be worse for me. Considering the Hindustani player had a 0.73 KD, I don't feel too bad about my 0.68 KD. I think it says a lot about those Elephant Archers and how strong they are. And I don't know if there's many other stats to look at. I did want to see the eco KD, actually. I don't think that actually shows here. I wanted to see... Maybe bottom right will show it for us. How many Vils were killed in this game? Eco KD. Yeah, I killed 179 Vils. 136 of that was from Yellow. And Ozone obviously contributed with the Vil kills, but Purple lost a lot as well in some areas. So the raids definitely paid off. Having long-term resource control on stone and gold, and obviously having the Vils, it was a very important part of our victory. So... yeah, so here's the deal. We're going to have the series, this full series that I played on the Extras channel. If you want to see the 3 games from my perspective, 2 of which I played, 1 I casted. But, yeah, if you want to see the games, it's going to be on the Extras channel. We're going to have it in the description if you guys want to see more. Game 1 and 2 I play. Game 3, it's not spoilers because it's a play all 3. I did not plan, I just watched. And I'm curious on your feedback on the map and the settings, because there's some pretty wild ones. Basically, my idea is if there's fun stuff, if there's unique maps, I'm just going to cast some games from time to time. And I will pay attention to other sets from this tournament and cast other players. But the best way for me to sometimes find a good game is if I play one. So I thought this was pretty crazy. The fact that even from a bragging perspective, which is not why I do this, but we beat Drill, Siege Onager, Elite Mangadai, and Imp Camel. That's just unbelievable. Now, final thing. I was thinking about this, and I actually think if it's not Onager from Yellow, and he goes pure Siege Ram, I think they destroy us. It's actually less expensive to do that, and think about it. Elephant Archers do 1 damage a hit to a ram, so they wouldn't take care of the rams. The rams tank the arrow fire from the elephant archers, allowing Mangudai and camels to do their work. And my cavalier would be the ticket to sniping those rams. But as you could see, if there were any Mangudai or camels around, my cavalier were melting. Whereas like with the Trebs, you know, Trebs are costly, right? And they're slow and they're clunky. They're not speedy. I actually think full siege ram play would have wiped up the entirety of these ranges, the entirety of the walls, and I think we lose that game. So definitely won't be picking Poles again here if Mongols and Hindustanis are available. I think their civs are really good, but we were able to get the job done anyways. I'm going to stop blabbing now. Once again, thanks for the love and support, and I'll see you guys with another fun video tomorrow. See ya!